Welcome to today's webinar. I'm Caroline Dingson, a product marketer at Kustomer. And Kustomer is an AI-native CX platform that helps companies deliver customer service that's tailored to the unique needs of their customers. And the goal of this webinar is to help organizations on their AI journey to know and learn from the success of others. And I'm so thankful and excited today that we have Aplazo joining us to tell their story, their playbook for how they have implemented and been successful with AI-powered customer support. So quickly, we'll just run through the agenda. So we're going to start out with just introducing you to Aplazo. Who is Aplazo? How did they go about implementing AI? What were their goals? It's really exciting to know that they have AI that's customer facing, directly handling customer conversations. They also use AI for their customer service reps, and they'll walk through those use cases. And then they're going to present, I'm so excited about this, their roadmap, where they started, where they are today, and what they are really excited about in the future in terms of implementing AI-powered customer service. And then we'll talk through their playbook. Based on this experience, what do they recommend? What are the learnings for other organizations that are just, looking at how to take advantage and use AI for more efficient customer service that doesn't really sacrifice quality. I think that's what I'm excited that our guests will talk to us about, is like it's all about efficiency, but not in a way that would sacrifice quality of the customer experience. And because of that, they have incredible results. And I'm so excited for them to share those results. And then we'll walk through like an AI readiness checklist that will be like your takeaway today from this webinar that will hopefully help guide you on your journey in terms of where you're at. So without further ado, I want to introduce our special guest, Jimena Cerda. She manages support at Aplazo. Welcome, Jimena.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Caroline, for the amazing introduction. I'm very, very excited to be here.
Amazing. So can you talk to us about yourself, like your role? Who is Aplazo? What do you do at Aplazo?
Yes, of course. So my name is Maria Jimena Cerda. I'm an operations manager at Aplazo, specifically for support. And in this case, I was in charge of implementing all of customers' AI solutions to serve our needs. And about Aplazo specifically, we are a Mexican fintech focused on expanding access to responsible credit through flexible installment payments. We basically enable people to buy what they need without a credit card through a fast, transparent, and 100% digital experience. And today we serve millions of users in Mexico, primarily millennials and Gen Z, who value simplicity, clarity, and trustworthy financial products.
It's interesting that you mentioned that in terms of like the specific demographics that you serve. Can you talk to us, Jimena, about like what you've learned is most important to your customer base when it comes to customer service?
Yes, so in terms of customer service, our users care most about clarity, being able to trust us, and also simplicity. They want to know exactly how much they are willing to pay or will be paying, um, when are they going to pay, and under what conditions, without fine print or hidden fees. They expect a frictionless process and a fast, clear communication delivered in like a very warm and human tone.
And were there any challenges, as we go into your case study around AI, or concerns you had about implementing AI, given that they want that really human connection?
Yes, of course. I think by serving a young digital first audience, We need to use simple and very intuitive language and offering a very like streamlined process. And if something feels like very complicated or unclear, they disengage immediately.
Hmm.
So our biggest challenge there, and also our priority, is to make every step as simple and user friendly as possible.
And I think we can go into, maybe that's a good segue into your goals. When it came to AI, I wanted you to talk to our audience about like how you focused on specific goals for that type of implementation.
Yeah, so when we started thinking about implementing any AI tools, first we focused on what problem or what we were trying to solve for. Um, First, we wanted a scalable solution that keeps up with our growth. Um, I think we need to maintain the service quality while still scaling our business.
Hmm.
So as our user base keeps growing rapidly, we need a way to handle more volume without sacrificing the warmth, clarity, and reliability that defines Aplazo's user experience.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I think some of the people here um, can also like feel identified with this next step, that is improving customer satisfaction. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like um, almost everyone in user support measures these customer satisfaction score, and we always want to be better, right? So even though our levels previous to implementing AI were okay, we always want to give the best experience possible. So that's why we wanted to keep improving always. And also, this might be new for some people here. It's reducing the resubmission rate. Here, um, previously, we didn't measure this rate in Aplazo, but we worked with the data team to be able to get this information that I think it's really, really important. The resubmission rate measures how many users contact support again after their first contact within 24 hours about the same thing. So
Mm.
basically, if you have a very high resubmission rate, means that you're not solving on the first contact to the users. I think it's also a very important solution metric that you need to measure when you are implementing AI, because you need to make sure that the information you're feeding to your AI is correct, and it's giving it back to the users the way you want to. So that's why I think it's a very important metric.
Well, let's start, Jimena, with going through the use case of like how you automated some of the customer conversations with AI. Can you talk to us about, that use case?
Yes, of course. So basically, um, as I was saying previously, our main goal was to maintain service quality while scaling the business. So first, we focused on all informational inquiries. Most importantly, the ones that were like very high volume and they were a little bit more complex. Um, so yeah, we basically started on all informational questions like FAQs and stuff.
What did your actual human agents think about that?
Once we communicated the change clearly and explained what would it be different about the experience, the transition actually became really smooth. Uh, Both users and agents naturally uh, transition to this new version of support we were launching, and there wasn't friction or any negative reactions.
Okay, that's really good to hear. I think a lot of the organizations we talk to do have that concern or that worry. So that's why I couldn't help but ask that question. I'm wondering, Jimena, if you could talk about like if your human agents are handling, it sounds like 2%, and that's the more complex. Are you still first running that through AI? Like, is there a transfer to the human? Like, how does that work for Aplazo?
Okay, so we still have a really small fallback rate, but it happens. So for those scenarios specifically, we leverage a tool that's in the AI, that's like the smart routing tool, where the like you create a tool very, very easily. Like you don't need to code or anything, it's just instructions. um, and you tell the AI in which cases do you want to like transfer those inquiries and to which queues. So basically, we have a tool for like every queue, and depending on if we don't give the AI like a lot of information in a certain topic, the AI uses the smart routing to get that question or ticket to the proper agent. And this actually solved a lot of issues we had on routing, because the like normal routing, not the smart routing, it's a little bit more complex. So I think with very simple instructions, you're able to solve that issue.
That's so interesting. So you're talking about the smart routing within customer
Yeah,
and the fact that I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly, that the AI is actually getting information to determine if it's going to be able to quickly answer or solve the issue, or if it needs to route. Like you've
exactly.
created a tool so it knows when, and that's so interesting to me. And I see how that can reduce resubmission rate because it's not necessarily about the transfer, but it's more about like from the initial get-go, right? Like
Yeah,
the AI interprets which is best. I say which because it's still AI, right? AI or human to address this particular issue. So my
yeah.
last question is before we get
Oh,
into
can I
you
say
showing.
something?
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
please.
can I say something extra about that?
Yeah.
I think there's always going to be users, customers that want to talk to a human agent just
Mm.
because they don't like the way AI responds or whatever, or they just feel safer with a human. Um, and I think what's really cool about it is when the customer says they want to speak to a human agent, they can still like the smart routing tool takes care of it and transfers. So we don't have any impact on customer experience. Um, and also the like waiting time on those conversations becomes less, because like the AI can handle first the normal questions, and then if it's a little bit more complex, it can transfer to a human agent. And also, when the transfer gets to the human agent, it gets with a summary, so they don't have to go through all the conversation again. They get the summary, they read the summary of like the main takeaways of the conversation, what the problem is, so they don't have to ask all over again like what the issue was.
And that's the smooth transition you're talking about. And I think like we should go ahead and show it. I'm excited that next we're able to actually show what this looks like from automation of the conversations with your customers, right? So this is WhatsApp, and I'm going to have you, Amanda, I will play the video that you've shared with us, and just talk through like so people can see. I think is really powerful. So let's walk through this video.
Yes, so this is in Spanish. We're having a WhatsApp conversation, and we sent hello. Then the bot replies and it gives you options. So here we clicked service bills. Once the bot knows that, it shows you another menu, and then I asked what services can I pay with this product, and now the AI is going to respond. Let's just wait a couple of seconds. So here it's telling me I can pay a variety of different services, explaining a little bit more about the product. And what I like the most is that it always asks you do you want me to help you with something else, and give you related questions to the issue you're asking about. So here I ask how the product works, and the AI responds a little bit about Aplazo and the product specifically. And at the end, it asks if we want a more deep explanation about how to use Aplazo or the product specifically. So I'm answering yes. How can I access the app?
And this is the Aplazo app itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it explains how can I enter the app, what steps should I follow, and if I have an issue while entering the app, or if I need help with anything else. And I said everything's okay, thank you, bye bye.
Can you just give us some high level use cases about this was a use case? Do you have some common questions that you're always getting, and so this automation just helps really address those? I'm just curious. Or is the AI able to address a variety? Just wondering where AI is in terms of its ability to respond to your customers.
Yeah, so AI can actually respond to anything you want. Why did we focus on these general informational questions? It's because they're the most common questions for new users, or that can cause friction. Sometimes they don't know what a product is, or how does it work, how to recover your account if you had a phone number change, how to use maybe some of our more complex products like virtual card. These are very high volume repetitive questions that we thought were ideal for automation. So that's why we went through those first.
Okay. That's great. And then now I'm excited to talk about how you're using this. These were, great examples of how you're using customer AI with your customers, but then you have the use case of, using it with your agents. How is AI helping them continue to service the more complex issues?
Yes, this is really exciting for us. By using the AI for reps, we are now allowing our human agents to have how we call it in Aplazo is this Bible of all the information they need to give a really, really amazing customer service. So how it basically works, we will show you after. But here in the image, you can see that you can ask for processes, suggestions on how to answer the user, to help you with the grammar or typos that maybe we're humans, it can happen to anyone. So right. By using this tool, now agents can ask anything and everything about the processes or the user, and the AI will respond with the best catered response for them.
And I'm curious, how are you like building this AI to have, and because these are more complex issues, I'm just curious, like, where is the AI drawing from to be able to even help your
Yeah.
human agents?
So what's really cool about this is that we can use the same knowledge base that we used for our other solution that you guys just saw.
Okay.
So like the AI can figure out by itself what processes are used by agents and what processes are um, only for the AI by just indicating in the instructions. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
really
what I was going to ask. So just for our audience, like, I think that that's helpful. Keep going, like explaining, like how does AI know the difference between your end user, your customer, versus if you're using it also for your reps? I think this is great, Hamina, if you can
yeah.
explain sort of that
So
difference.
like when you're setting up, there's really simple instructions you can give the AI to like first where they are getting the AI is getting the information, what information should you like only use, how to greet the both users and agents, like what processes do agents need, and it's really simple. And what I like the most is that you can include things like tone and manner. Your like in our case we use Mexican Spanish, so do Mexican Spanish include um, the contact types or how the process is, if they need to refer to a third party like integration or whatever. So I think that's what's really cool, that when I started this journey I thought that I would have to learn how to code or like
Mm,
something really complex and different, because when you talk about AI you think it's like this
very
super
technical.
difficult thing.
Yeah.
But it's really simple. You just type the instructions like if it was a job description.
And yeah, that's like what makes this so powerful, I think, in um, how you can like enable this for your reps. And I think something that's interesting here, what we're showing is that this is in Mexican Spanish, right?
Yes.
And so that's the first language. I think I don't want to overlook the fact that what we're looking at here is when you say the tone and manner, that the AI is actually speaking directly to the your human agents, in their own language, in their own tone.
Yeah.
Um, and I know you've talked about like how important that was. Like, what would happen if, I'm just curious, like the what if, like if that wasn't possible?
I think we would not be able to use it at all,
Mm,
because like being a human agent is a really hard job. Like you need to
mm,
handle a lot of incoming tickets at once. So if you don't have a really easy to understand and like very simple solution, like you can't waste time. So that's why we transferred from like our own knowledge base that was in another platform to this, because it's on the same screen. You don't need to switch screens or anything, and it gives a very simple outcome. So if it wasn't on the language they use and in a very simple way, we wouldn't even like take time to adopt this, because like it's a waste of agents' time.
yeah, that I love how you call that out, and I think that's so unique from what I've seen of Aplazo. And now you get to demo this for us. So thank you. We spent a lot of time explaining this.
Yes. So here we have like a conversation a human agent is responding to, and on the right you can see that they are asking about the phone number process, like what's the process and how does it work. And here, very quickly, the AI is responding with the step by step, like you need to validate the number, like what the whole process is. and it's also suggesting a response and a contact type, so we could like see what the conversation was. So it's like super quick, very easy, with all the information on the same screen as you can see, and the agent can now respond to the user.
So this is within the agent dashboard. And on the
Yes.
right-hand side, we're looking at what the agent has asked the question. That was a little fast, but asked the question, and then the AI gives, these suggested, these are like the recommended steps. And this is pulling from your knowledge base
Yes,
information. Okay.
yes, it only pulls from our knowledge base. We wouldn't like that it like invented something. So this is only from our knowledge base strictly.
So, and did you do a lot of, I'm just curious, like testing to make sure? I know people have concerns about hallucinations, right? That the AI will pull, and I'm just curious, like, how did you address to make sure that intelligence was only coming from your internal knowledge base?
Basically, testing is really important, even though the AI doesn't, like this specific AI doesn't hallucinate. We need to test anything before implementing and bringing different points of view, like for example agents that are the ones using it, but also people from other teams that don't know anything about the process, to see if it's actually giving a good answer for them, what would they think, etc. I think that's what's most important. Like, we need to test every single stage, and once you know it's perfect, you need to test as well to see if everything's running smoothly. So we do internal audits weekly.
Yeah, I remember that's sort of the coming in. That's a great segue into, I think, your roadmap, and then getting into the playbook. So thank you for that. So yeah, more on, talk us through this roadmap. Talk us through where you started, where you are today, and a sense of like what you're looking for towards tomorrow, like in the future.
Yes, so as I told you earlier, we started when it was a crawl stage. We started with simple informational use cases, specifically around virtual card at the time. That was a new and innovative product that generated many repetitive questions. So it was very FAQ, and we also allow the AI to provide these summaries and writing assistance for the agents.
Okay.
But then we transitioned to the walk stage, which I think right now we're in an between walk and running.
Okay.
We actually were able to configure our own tone and language to the solutions. And we also made tools for the AI to leverage our internal data for like further personalization. And also in the AI for Reps solution, we allow the AI to offer suggested responses to the agents, and also the handoff and closing of summaries. And
And that's what you just demoed, right? I mean,
Yes.
like that's what you just showed. And I would add for the closing summaries, like I don't think that's something that we demoed, but when that conversation closes, we were talking before the webinar about like how this information is summarized by AI, so that the next time a human agent or AI is handling a conversation, that context is summarized in there. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, it's correct. And also, I'd like to highlight here that it's really important that you focus on your agent's feedback. Also, the quality of the AI generated summaries, and also what I was talking about previously, the internal quality audits. You need to
like the audits.
Yes.
Like the internal audits. Okay.
Yes, we always need to return to the core question that is like for us specifically was it's this improving our user experience and always checking if we are like going towards the goal. Um, so right now that we're currently transitioning from the walk to the run stage, it's really exciting because we actually already integrated some third-party systems and we continue to add more so the AI can provide deeper and more with more context responses. So I think that's really, really important.
Am I understanding not only providing helpful information, but also like you have here like completing a service task itself,
Yes.
like doing some of the work?
Yes, we're really excited about it. We are currently planning on having the AI handle in Aplazo. We call them actionables, and like getting these tasks that are also very repetitive from human agents and letting them focus on the more important stuff.
And my last question for this slide, because I definitely know there's a lot of good content to come as well in the playbook. How do you know when you are at the crawl stage that you're ready for walk? And how do you know in your current state in the walk that you're going to be ready to run? I'm just curious, like, how do you know when to start to work toward that next phase?
I think by always testing and like checking if you're going to the goal, and also like I don't think you necessarily are ever ready because you can always improve more. But I think by like starting slowly, you get a little bit more. I don't know how to say this, but a little bit more comfortable in like dipping a little more. So I think it's like a very natural process, and if you are not afraid to go outside your comfort zone, it's a really like seamless process, and you get excited. So you test more use cases, and you test again and see. Once you see the results, you like will be eager to do more.
Yeah, and I think that's what we talked about, like there, and we'll get into results or the metrics, but like, yes, you'll get into the playbook next, but defining through your goals, like once you're working and you feel like you're accomplishing that goal at that stage, then I love how you say like it's never going to be perfect or you can always optimize and do more. But like once you have reached your goal, and starting small makes that easier before you like do too much at once. I think people get overwhelmed, maybe lost in the process. Was that a concern for you? Did you experience that at all, about like getting distracted or having people give feedback and recommendations to do things differently?
The getting distracted part, I think it's very easy to get lost, but if you like focus on what was the main objective, that won't happen to you. But for us, we always ask for feedback. Um, and that's a way for the team to become maybe not only the support team, but other areas to become more involved. And it like transitions from like a personal project to a company-wide project. If you ask for feedback and for ideas from other teams, it becomes like a win for everyone, not only for your team. So yeah, feedback is really, really, really important.
That's huge. And I think it can be scary to open it up for feedback. And so I'm curious, do you feel comfortable telling us like your experience in getting feedback? Like, what was that like? Was it positive and negative? Like, how did you gather? Can we talk a little bit about like how you gathered that feedback and how it affected your implementation?
Yes. So actually, when we were planning, we designated like a feedback timeline. So it was all in our scope, like from the start.
It was like
And
intentional,
yeah, it was
like
intentional.
intentional in the planning. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And also, once we like had the solution all configured, before launching it to like the general public, we did like an internal testing within the company. And maybe it's my personality, I don't know, but I always like to get that feedback. I don't take it personal. Maybe some people can, but for me specifically, I'm really excited um, that when people test the solution, it means they're interested in the outcome and that they believe that the solution will change for the better the user experience. So even though we need to make changes, like going back and making those changes was really easy for us. Uh, and like we had it in our roadmap. So I think that's what saved us.
Did you have, I mean, did you have any prioritization around feedback? I'm just curious because I think I've talked to some customers where that can be a little scary to open it up from feedback for everyone because like, who do you prioritize, right? In this case, like, how do you know how to take that feedback and what to act on and what not to do? If you've opened it up so broadly, right? Even outside of the
Yeah.
customer support team.
Yeah. So first, we prioritized our agents, like human agents' feedback, because they were the ones that are every single day interacting with the solution. So that's really important for us. And then we went to other operations teams that don't know the process. Um, so they were able to if they were able to understand the answers or the proposed like scripts and everything, meant that we were doing a good job, because it could help even like a new person that doesn't know how the process works.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. So let's get into the playbook. So I know you've touched on all these, but I want to give you a chance to like lay this out for our audience in terms of like how like providing a playbook where you started.
Yes, so I think before implementing any AI solution, the groundwork that you need to make always starts internally. Like the transformation starts inside your own walls. So I think the first and most important step is the clarity of purpose, as I was mentioning earlier, knowing exactly what problem you want AI to solve. Like, are you trying to reduce handle time, improving your CSAT, lowering the recontact rates, optimizing costs? Like, if you don't have that clarity, the solution will define that problem for you. So that's when things start to go off track. Then you need to define the key roles that are needed. I think success, it's not only about the great technology, but also it's about having the right people around it to make it work. So uh, in our instance, we needed like a mix of skills that combined data, operations, but also people. Um, like you need like a data person that is the one that makes sure the information you are feeding to the AI is clean, structured, and meaningful. You also need your operations or product lead, which in my case was myself, who understands the business problem you're trying to solve. That way, you keep the solution focused on impact. And I think, like, beyond the technical side, what you really need is change champions.
Yeah, tell
That's
us more about that.
Yeah. So it's the people who train, support, and communicate with our teams, our agent teams, um, so they can trust and adapt to the technology. And I think when you have those people around your solution, it's when you like turn the AI from a project into a real success story.
Have you used change champions at Aplazo for other types of projects?
Yes,
I'm just
of course.
curious.
I think it's a key to have in any project. You need to have team champions, and also when it's AI and it's a new, like very different solution, you need people to believe in it before you start applying it.
That's what I was going to ask, because it's almost it can be infectious, right? So how did you find, or how do you designate who is a change champion at Aplazo, for example?
Like in this case, for this project specifically, I think it was me and my team, because we were able to test the product and build it ourselves. We knew it worked, and it's like a change in management. Like you need to invite everyone to test the product, to see that it works, to talk about it and get more people excited. So that way you can become a change champion. If you really believe in your solution, you need to start spreading it to more people. So another important role that I think it's really important to map while you're defining your strategy and your plan is the data part. I think that data knowledge and readiness, I think once you're implementing your AI solution, you need everyone aligned, first on data, but also I think on success metrics and what good looks like. And I think the best results come when AI isn't a separate initiative, but a layer onto existing workflows. So once you have all your data on the same level, you need to test and keep launching improved versions with feedback from the rest of the team.
That's great. And can you talk about like the data piece itself? Like AI is only as good as your data.
Yes. So I think you need to make sure the information you're feeding to the AI is clean, structured, and meaningful. Yeah. So basically, the AI is only as good as the information it can access. When you have a unified customer data, that will reflect back to your customers. So that's why it's really important.
So Jimena, we've touched on sort of the where you get started, the groundwork, and now I know you've also talked about like more steps and like the what are the next steps, right? After you've defined the roles and gotten the data in place, like what did you do next in terms of your playbook for implementing AI?
Yes. Okay. So first, it's the operational alignment. As I was saying previously, you need everyone aligned on what success looks like, what good looks like, and you need to test on and relaunch like continuously. You need to update consistently your knowledge base because like sometimes in Aplazo certain processes change or features within the app, and if you don't update and have a very well structured knowledge base where you can go back and change things quickly, I think that's where it could become a problem. But by having it really well structured, you can always go back and change and add. Like, for example, we just launched our physical card and we didn't have any information regarding our physical card, so we had to go back and add those like questions and scenarios for the AI to also be able to provide answers for that new product. So,
and can I ask, Jimena, like, where did you, in terms of providing that guidance, I'm just curious, I wanted to clarify, like, what steps is that also, is that updating the knowledge base? Is that also work you need to do in customer around instructions for the AI agent?
yes, well, so for example, in this case specifically, when we launched our physical card, we had to create a physical card agent.
Okay.
And adding those instructions that, like, what questions it could answer based in what part of the knowledge base, the fallback, like if it has to route to a human agent, like in which queue specifically, but it's really easy and really quick. We did it like all in a day. So
Wow.
we
Okay.
were ready. Yeah, we were ready really, really fast. And because of how the product is structured, it's very intuitive, so you can like copy and paste a lot of things, and we built like the knowledge base based on questions and answers we knew the users were going to ask.
And so is there something, I just wanted to clarify, is there something in building a new specific AI agent for this product versus like using what you already had? I'm just like curious as to that
Yeah, I don't
strategy.
know how to explain it. Like it was a new agent within our already existing team.
Okay.
So we just added like a new one that could handle and have the instructions for those specific questions. But like if you see our team, we have a supervisor and then we have an agent per product. So you can like add a new one and add the specific instructions as well. But because you already have your supervisor that has like all the main instructions, it's really easy to set up the new one.
That's cool. Yeah. And I think like the specialization, it sounds like it was able to really specialize in this topic, and you're able with the smart routing to know that those types of questions are going to always go to that type of AI agent, if I'm hearing that correctly. Okay.
With the correct contact type and the routing rules as well.
And I think for the last one, you touched on this a lot, but just like briefly remind us around building trust in AI as a partner. I think that's a great recommendation.
Yes. When you're trying to implement an AI solution, I think the change in management and trust is really important. It's a change in the mindset that your team needs to see AI as a partner, not a threat. And that mainly comes from transparency, feedback loops, and celebrating the quick wins with everyone. Um, and I think the main takeaway I want everyone to have with these two slides is like if you don't have like clean data, aligned teams, and also very important cultural readiness, no AI tool can fix that for you. It's really within your organization.
That's very powerful. And I think it's very helpful for our audience to really hear directly from you. And let's talk about your success. Let's talk about what you were able to track, Jimena, like as a outcome of implementing AI in your customer service organization. Like talk about like what you achieved.
Yes, so the exciting part is that we achieved the goals we set from the beginning, particularly in efficiency and user experience. So we achieved a 5% resubmission rate, which means only 5% of our conversations are now like have a resubmission of a user not having the problem solved at the first time.
Okay.
We also have a very little fallback rate. Like uh, all the questions that are handled by AI, only 0.4% are transferred to human agents. The rest stay within the AI use cases. And
That almost doesn't seem believable. Like, was that? I'm just curious. Like, that's such a low number. Did you like? What was your reaction when you saw that?
this
Did you
wasn't
expect that?
we didn't expect that, and we didn't have that from the get-go. Like, we had to like edit and add more and more information to our knowledge base. At first, when we started, our fallback rate was huge.
Okay.
And we had like a really conscious effort of having less and less and less every single time, because if we want to apply AI, we needed to work and keep this burden of the human agents. So it was a focus point for us. Actually, we use the reports from customer to have like this constant information. These are like the smart reports that you can like type the question, and it will give you the statistics or specific conversations where you can improve. So I think by using that tool is that we were able to achieve all those these amazing results and these changes eventually.
And so are you referencing like the customer data explorer tool,
Yes.
like where you're able to type in the question? And yeah, that's another great use case of AI, right? It's AI that's going through your reports and pulling out those insights. So it sounds like you use that to that was going to be my next question. How how do you, I think proving this out and getting the data is really a hard task as well. So
Yes.
you answered the question, but you use the data explorer tool to find this.
Yes, and this is also a very good like use case of becoming more independent as a support team and not relying heavily on other like the data team that gathers all of the information that customer sends to Aplazo, and like it really gives us a lot of independence. And we've also seen people from other teams now asking for customer licenses to be able to gather these insights. So the way that it transforms all of this raw information into insights, I think it's very, very valuable and makes the whole data analysis part super simple. But if I may, what I'm most excited about is the 41% increase in USAT. We've never had like a really bad USAT, but we were like stuck for a little bit in what can we improve, how can we improve. And I think by implementing AI, you normally don't expect an improvement in user satisfaction. I think most people view it before like knowing the solution and how does it work. You see it as maybe something you can be able to trade off for efficiency, but for us it was the contrary. Like, users are very satisfied. The questions and how it's answering, it's really, really good, and we've seen the improvement of 41%.
That's incredible. And I love how you talk about like it wasn't an expectation. I think it's very true. If goals were around efficiency, of course you set this goal. I think it's a testament to how you said your playbook, right? And that you established really clear, it wasn't like 10 goals, but 3 very specific goals for this. And it sounds like you exceeded it in the user satisfaction. So that's why I'm excited for you. And I know your company must be really excited about like this journey right? And where it can go. And then you have a quote here. We have a quote from one of your reps. I think you talked about feedback. So maybe kind of explain this quote.
Yes, so basically, this feedback specifically is referring to the AI for Reps tool, and it's saying that it makes them feel more confident in their work because they now have access to the information they need at the moment they need it in order to provide a really, really amazing customer service.
That's great to hear. And that's what it's all about. I think having, we talked about before, leveraging both AI, the way you're using that, but also having that human touch when it's necessary, and that coming together for you and improving user satisfaction is so huge. And I know when we talked before the webinar, that combination is really important to Aplazo. It's not about one or the other, but how the two come together. I think another thing you surface, like you have AI for your customers, you have AI for your reps or your customer service agents, but it sounds like you have AI for you, Jimena. You have AI to find, to figure out how it's working to quickly get to these stats.
Yes.
So how do you feel about that? I'm just curious, like how you should be really proud of what you've been able to accomplish. Is it something like you expected?
Actually, I didn't even thought about like having AI for me as an operations person, but it's made my work much more efficient, less time consuming. I'm now also allowed to focus in what matters and like applying those insights to actions and making changes to always improve the user experience. So like us at Aplazo are really, really happy that we now have AI for everything customer support related, and we are leveraging all of these tools, insights, information to keep improving and always like striving for excellence in our field.
That's amazing. And Jimena, I know I could spend so much time talking to you about this. I hope that we can talk to you again and follow you on this journey as such a great partner with us at Kustomer. I want to thank everyone in the audience for joining us to hear Aplazo's success story, their playbook, how Jimena really drove AI-powered customer support at her organization and has seen success. It's incredible. And I think the insights, the experience that you shared, is really meant, the goal of this was to really help others, right? To inspire others to have an idea of what's possible, right? And I think that this has been such a great story. And for everyone who's in attendance, I'm also excited to say that we are sharing right now, if you go into the resources, we are sharing this AI readiness checklist that we've put together, inspired by Aplazo, but also the work we do with other customers on how to, really prepare your organization for AI-powered customer service. Thank you, Jimena. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Really happy about our partnership.